Today we are going to learn about user stories and wireframes. So, what do you mean by user stories? User stories are short descriptions of a features written from the user's perspective. A good user story focuses on three important things. First, who the user is. Identifies the target user, such as a customer, admin, or any specific role. Second, what they want to do. This defines the goal or task the user aims to accomplish. And third, why it is important. This explains the value or benefit both to the user and the business. Now let's look at the standard format of a user story. A user story is written in a simple sentence structure. As a type of user, I want a goal so that I get a specific benefit. This format clearly organizes the user's needs into three parts. First, tells us who the user is. Second, the goal which explains what the user wants to do. And third, the reason or benefit. Example of a user story. As a student, I want to reset my password easily so that I can access the app without frustration. Here, the user is a student. The goal is to reset the password easily. And the reason is to access the app without frustration. How to create user stories? Step 1 is to identify user personas. User personas represent different types of users who will interact with the system. To identify them, we use insights from UX research and testing. For example, a system may have different users like a student, a shopper, or an admin. Each of these users has different needs and goals. Step 2. To identify user goals and needs. These goals are usually based on usability findings and user feedback. For example, if a user cannot find the checkout button, it means there is a usability issue. So, the goal becomes, the checkout option should be clear and easy to find. By identifying user needs in this way, we can improve the overall user experience. Step 3. Write the user story in a standard format. The format is simple. As a user, I want a goal so that I get a benefit. This format helps us clearly understand the user's need. For example, as a student, I want to add new assignments so that I can stay organized. Step 4. To prioritize user stories. Not all user stories are equally important, so we need to decide which ones to work on first. We can use techniques like Moscow or dot voting to prioritize. By prioritizing stories, teams can focus on delivering the most important features first. Now we are going to see about wireflows. Wireflows are a combination of wireframes and user flows. Wireframes show the layout and structure of screens, like where buttons, images, and content are placed. User flows show the step-by-step journey a user takes to complete a task. When we combine both, we get wireflows. Wireflows help us understand not only how the screens look, but also how users move from one screen to another. They visually show how a user navigates through screens, the step-by-step interaction for a task, connections between different screens, blueprint for interactions. Purpose of wireflows: visualize user journey through the app, identify missing screens or steps, communicate interaction flow to team and developers, validate navigation and flow logic before final design. Now, let's see how to create wireflows. Step 1. List all the tasks. For example, in an online shopping app, the steps could be: sign up, browse products, add items to the cart, proceed to checkout, and finally make the payment. By listing these tasks, we clearly understand the user's journey from start to end. Step 2. Sketch wireframes for each screen. At this stage, low-fidelity designs are enough. We don't need detailed visuals, the focus should be on key elements like buttons, content placement, and user actions. For example, screens like Sign Up, Browse, Cart, Checkout, and Payment should clearly show what the user can do on each page. Step 3. Connect the screens using flow arrows. We use arrows to represent navigation paths such as Next, Back, Menu, and Submit actions. For example, after signing up, the user moves to the Browse screen, then to the Cart, Checkout, and finally to Payment. These connections help us understand the complete user journey and ensure smooth navigation. Step 4. Include decision points or branches. For example, during payment, the transaction can either be successful or fail. If the payment is successful, the user moves to the order confirmation screen. If the payment fails, the user is directed to a retry screen. These decision points help us handle different scenarios and make the system more user-friendly. Step 5. Review the flow. At this step, we check whether the user can complete tasks smoothly from start to end. We also identify any missing screens or confusing navigation paths. We carefully go through the entire flow to ensure there are no issues. Conclusion. User stories help clearly define user needs and goals, ensuring the product is built from the user's perspective. Wireflows visually represent the user journey and interactions, making it easier to design smooth and user-friendly experiences.